All right, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as I can, but this is something that's urgent on my spirit that I cannot let go. I cannot shake it, and I need to let y'all know. I've been seeing lately about this whole thing about the creating password God thing, and while I believe that there may have been the original video, that there may have been an intimate moment, an intimate needed moment that a person had with God, um, and that God may have showed he may show people certain things, or may work for people certain ways, for specifically for them, but it has become a trend. And one thing that I've learned, and I know from my life, from my experience, from my own testimony, is that the devil love a good trend, and that if he can catch a good trend, he can deceive many. So my thing about this whole passwords with God thing, okay, is that it's almost as if y'all want God to be y'all magic 8 ball. And we use the excuse and say, well, we just trying to be close. We just trying to be this. We're trying to be this. And no, you're using God as a magic 8 ball in your life, and that is not what he is. Okay. And we talk about, I've seen someone talk about, bring up Gideon, and bring up how Gideon tested and asked for signs. That is a thing that Gideon had grace for. Understand that that is a thing that Gideon had grace for. That God has grace, and he knows the hearts of the people who might need a sign, who might need to see a thing because of their faith, because of where he knows their faith may be, or what he needs them to do and where their faith may be in them. He gives a person grace for that. But everybody don't have that grace. But the enemy will have you thinking that you do. People will have you thinking that you do. And just because a thing works for someone does not mean it's going to work for you. Or does not mean that just because it works or seems to work for everyone, that it's good for you. The Bible says for us not to conform to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Which means that we cannot conform to every trend. We cannot pick up every trend, no matter how good or how it may seem like you're getting close to God. The main way you're going to get close to God is to learn his word and to heed his spirit and allow him to move in your life. Submit your flesh, submit your mind, submit your heart, everything to God, and move in it. Learn his voice and learn how to hear his voice and how to move with his voice. That is how you're going to get close to him. Many people are trying to use these things, these little things, and they almost seem like you're going new age, like you're going into the tarot cards and the oracles and things like that. And that is not what God is. That is not what God is. Okay. So I believe that we need to use some wisdom in these things, and we need to go back to the real way, the real raw way of getting close to God and hearing God and moving with him and being led by his spirit. It's almost like it's almost like they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work that it takes to really be that way with God. Consecrate, fast. You can get an answer. You can get an answer at times just by fasting. You can get, or you can hear better, or you can understand better by consecrating and eliminating the things in your life that are louder than God. You don't always need him to say, God, if I'm going the right direction, then show me this. If I'm doing this, then show me that. No, ma'am. No, sir. You should know by his word. You should know by his spirit. You should know. You should be walking in discernment. You should be walking in enough discernment that you're able to see, that you're able to understand and to recognize when you are walking according, or walking in a direction, or going where he needs you to go. So I really want to, and I don't say this and I don't post this to discourage anyone's faith. I don't say this to discourage anyone, because like I said, I know that there are some people who God gives the grace to ask for signs, to ask for things because of where their faith is and where their heart is and what he knows that that person needs. But some people are just lazy. Some people are just always looking for, tell me this, tell me that, tell me that, instead of seeking and finding, asking and waiting and receiving the answer, knocking and letting the door be open unto them. You have to be careful, because some of these trends will make you fall right into the devil's trap. I will tell you, and I can tell you because I know I can tell you because it was once me. I can tell you at one point I thought God was speaking to me, and it was the enemy the entire time. I can tell you that. So I want y'all to be careful. I speak this way because I speak this way with this much passion, because my concern, it's in this hour, and see it's right now. If the devil and his schemes and deceiving people and deceiving believers does not piss you off, if it does not make you mad, then you probably not on the right side. You probably on a different side because that's where I'm at right now. I am so far in my relationship with God and knowing and in the truth that I know in Him, that it makes me so mad when I see that the enemy can easily make people fall for his mess. And it's simply because of ignorance, or it's simply because of a trend, or it's simply because something that looks good to everyone else but ain't good. Every person in the Bible, there were some things that happened to each person in the Bible that we don't have grace for. We don't have the same grace for. Like I said, Gideon had a different grace. So he asked for a sign. And it's not that God won't give you signs, or that He won't show you things, or that you won't see things that confirm for you. He won't confirm for you in different ways. But when we get to the habit where we're asking for signs all the time, we're asking for these, or we're creating all these passwords with God, what work are you doing? Then what are you coming to God at? What are you treating God? Ultimately, what are you treating Him as? Yes, He will guide you. He will give you, he will guide your thoughts. He will guide your path, make your lay your path out. He will do that. Absolutely. Because it's in His will. And because when you follow His will, that happens. However, it is not for you to know. It is not for you to question every step. It's for you to trust in Him with all of your heart. To be strong and courageous, and to move when He tells you to move, and know and believe that you're moving in the right way. Because you know that His word, or because you know that His word or His Spirit is backing you up, or has gone before you. Y'all, and I'm sorry this came out so long. I'm probably gonna put this on I'm gonna probably upload it to TikTok anyways, but I'm gonna put this on YouTube. But y'all, we just need to be careful creating and following these types of things. And I'm going to say it one more time. Now, I don't know the fullness, the extent of the young lady who originally shared her testimony. Because like I said, I do believe that God gives grace to certain individuals because of their faith or what they need, and that He will allow certain things, certain signs, or certain things to happen to show and to prove Himself, or to, even though he don't have to prove Himself, but to show Himself to an individual so that they can move. So that they can, that their faith can be restored, or can be brought up, and they can move. But that grace is not upon everybody. Okay, so y'all be careful what you following. I don't care how good it sounds. I don't care if the pastor tried it, because the pastor was interested in it. I don't care. You need to take it before the Lord for yourself and determine and look at it all. Look at it in the complete aspect. Look at it in more than we just trying to get closer to God. Look at it in more than I'm just trying to make sure that I'm on the right track. Look at ultimately what your desire, or what you're trying to, how you're trying to manipulate, or what you're trying to gather, or what you're trying to get God to be in your life. Look at where how it's telling you how much you trust Him. Look at how much it's telling you how much you trust His Spirit, and how much you trust that His Spirit is within you and leading you and moving you. And look at where it's telling you that you are, where you are in your relationship. Look at where it's telling you that you are in your word. Look at where it's telling you. Look at those things, and then see. Because your favorite prophets, I'm pretty sure your favorite prophets and pastors, they're not creating no passwords, because they understand how they get what they need, or how they need to move, or how the Spirit moves them in the right direction with God. So I'm just going to leave that there. I don't post this or say any of this to offend, I say it all with love, because I really do in my heart feel like people are being deceived, and like they're ultimately falling into something deeper than what it seems to be on the surface. It may be innocent or seem innocent to some, where they have intentions that are innocent, but the devil don't care about that. And he will still cause you to fall. So just be careful, brothers and sisters. Be careful. Look into things, know things, understand it, and take it to God. And know for real, what you're doing.